What up, though? So the question was asked. This will be real quick. What has been my journey as an athlete? So I've never competed in at a collegiate level or anything like that. Of course, I've never been a professional, but I've done some competition. So first, I did bodybuilding. I competed in bodybuilding. I placed in that. That was a cool experience. I probably say the diet and the probably the diet and the cardio is the part that sucks the most. About that, posing was cool after a while, but it got expensive. Like, did you eat all that food and then the show, paying for like the tanning, the your trunks, the fees? It got expensive to do for a little reward. Like the trophy I won, you could probably get that at some store. My mom actually still has that trophy, which is pretty cool. I competed in two shows, and I was gonna do more, but then I stopped. I did CrossFit for a while. I competed in a couple things like that. CrossFit was weird when it came to competitions because it was just weird, and yeah, I got hurt a lot during CrossFit, so that was that. Um, After that, the next type of competition I did a lot of Olympic lifting ones. I've never competed in Olympic lifting and placed lower than second, right? I've won a couple, and the other ones I've never got lower than second. My highest snatch in competition was 225. My highest clean and jerk in the competition was 315. 315. And yeah, Olympic lifting was fun. Those meets were long. Um, they were long, and with all of that as well, they got expensive too, right? You had to pay a membership and then pay the show, which I think there's something wrong with that. Like you got to pay the membership and then the show. And most people don't do more than one show or two shows a year because of the amount of training and the amount of wear and tear it puts on the body. After that, I did powerlifting. Powerlifting was cool. Powerlifting, you got squat, bench, deadlift. My heaviest deadlift was 639. My heaviest squat was 600. My heaviest bench press was 374. Um, I learned a lot about just sticking to like the boring stuff because you squat, bench, and deadlift all the time. Right before my comp, I had to switch the hours that I trained. So usually I was training about maybe 1 or 2 p.m. with a partner, my boy Josh, and then I had to go and start training at 4 a.m. Like I had to be at the gym at 4 a.m. because I had to start doing work by 5:30 a.m. and then get back home for my daughter. So at that time that I was doing powerlifting, we had lost our babysitter. So I took that over of having my daughter with me that chunk of the day. She was about 1 or 2. And then I would go work when my wife got back later. That was a time. I remember one time sitting at the squat rack, and literally I started crying. I was like, I don't want to squat. At that time on the bar, it was like 535. I was like, I don't want to lift this. It's not making any sense. I'm not getting paid for this. This is crazy. I ended up finishing it, did the workout, and competed in that, and that was cool. Outside of like lifting that heavy is cool in competition, but man, doing that stuff weekly, it takes so much to build up to those numbers that it was just really, really time consuming. So yeah, powerlifting, Olympic lifting, bodybuilding, CrossFit, if you want to count that, cool. I battle if I want to compete in jujitsu or not. And the reason why I say that is because if I compete in jujitsu, I know it's going to turn on a part of my mind that I really don't want turned on right now, which is to be working towards that to compete. I'm not trying to be a competitor in jujitsu, and quite frankly, I just like doing it for a hobby. And I have a bad uh, habit of turning things that can be just hobbies into like businesses or jobs. And that's my hesitation of why I haven't really competed. And every time I've tried to compete, something has happened. The last two times I got sick. So that's my athletic background, so to say. So I've competed a good amount. I've won or placed high in those competitions, and my mindset has always been that something that an old coach told me. He used to always say like, the hay's in the barn, meaning if you do the work in practice, when you show up at the meet or the comp day, you don't gotta be all crazy nervous and things like that. Like when I see people like pacing crazy and freaking out and things like that, I'm like, what were you doing in practice? Like, were you practicing or were you lollygagging that you're going this wild? So usually in comps, I'm usually like just normal listening to music, talking to people, and just doing what I have to do. So that's it. I don't think there is another, not that I know from my head, another sport that I would want to compete in. It does help you get focused in a different way, but I want to build like better businesses and spend more time like on vacations with my family and things like that. So that's my athletic background as we close this episode. That's it.